Hello. You're probably wondering why I'm walking past these 3 large olive trees with a ladder in my hand. Let me explain. These are the 3 large olive trees which I recently bought from Costco. They're not inexpensive. They were £400 each, and I accept that that's not within everyone's budget. But I have seen these for over £800 each in other garden centres, and I've actually seen them for £1,500 each. And I can justify it because I believe YouTube will pay for these. Well, that's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. Anyway, back to the ladder. These 3 olive trees are going to form the basis of my latest garden project, which is my tiny olive grove, which is going to be here. This whole area is going to be dedicated to an olive grove. These are Olive Europa. I intend buying other types of olives. So this will be a little collection of olives, and there's going to be other garden features in this area. I've given some thought to this over the last 2 or 3 weeks since I bought these trees, and I've come up with a garden design, a plan. And I always think the best way to describe or explain a plan is from above. Now, I don't have a drone. That's where the ladder comes in. I'm going up there, not on the roof of my house, but I'm going to lean the ladder up against the wall and I'm going to climb it so I can get an almost aerial view, and that's how I can explain the design for this my tiny olive grove and the other features which are going to be in it. And whilst I'm doing that, I'll explain my inspiration for those other features in this olive grove. It's not just going to be an olive grove, it's also going to have citrus plants in. Now, the olives can stay out all winter, the citrus plants will have to go indoors, but it's a lovely south-facing sunny place this. You can see the sun's in my eyes, so it's perfect for these olives. There's also going to be a rill, a path and 2 bridges, but when I explain that, I'll be up that ladder and I'll also draw it on a piece of paper, so you will see it drawn out on a piece of paper on my left, your right hand side of the screen. So I'm hoping this is all making sense. The next thing, I'm going to go up the ladder with the camera and explain it from up there. Now, the last thing I would want to do is fall foul of any YouTube community standards on safety, so what I'm going to say is don't try this at home. I'm just doing this to demonstrate from an aerial view what the garden design is going to be like. I've just noticed, look at this, in this wind, we've had an incredibly windy period. This piece of flashing has blown down. That's another job for yours truly over the bank holiday weekend. Let's get up the ladder. So here we are, up the ladder. This is the plot, which is going to be my tiny olive grove. Those are the 3 olive trees. This plot is approximately 10 metres by 10 metres. It's quite a large plot. And just for a bit of context, I'll just pan around the garden. Over there is my wildlife pond and my Jurassic jungle garden, which is another project. And then down here is the arid bed which I'm creating, and then round the front of the cottage there is my parterre. Right, I have 3 olive trees, and at the back there is a large apple tree. It's a Bramley apple. The trunks of the olives resemble the trunk of the apple, so in a way I've kind of got 4 similar trees, although they're not the same species, of course. But what I want to do is I want to offset them, so there'll be that one there, an olive tree here, then an olive tree over here, and an olive tree over here. So there'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, and I will draw this on a piece of paper, and you'll see it down here in the left hand corner of your screen as I'm talking. So the olive trees will be located in a kind of a Z shape. 1, 2, 3. There's going to be a seat here, a bench, and then on either side of that bench there are going to be 2 bay trees, and then up here on the left there's going to be a water feature. Now, these things are inspired by things I've just seen in South Africa. There's going to be a square formal water feature here. That is going to overflow into a rill, and that rill is going to come along here, go down past the bench, and then left into another pond at the bottom. So we'll have moving water which moves from here down a rill, down past the bench, left into another pond. There's going to be a path straight down the middle, and that path will mean that there'll have to be bridges over this rill, so that's going to be a nice effect. A long straight path and a rill going through it, and a pond here, a little water feature here, made of breeze blocks. It'll be quite formal, and I'll render it, and it will be powered by a solar fish pond pump, so the water will flow down there, past the bench, and then into another, and then get pumped back up, so it'll be cycling and recycling. We'll get the sound of running water. There is a natural slope here. So now we've got olive tree, olive tree, olive tree, apple tree, water feature, rill, path. Now, how am I going to segregate it from the rest of the garden? When I was in South Africa recently, I saw these grapevines, and they put them on posts with wires in between. So I'm going to put a row of grapevines down there, which will cordon this off from the wider garden. And then there's going to be some other form of barrier across the front of here and a gap through. So you'll see through a gap. This barrier here will provide some wind protection for the olive trees, but it will also invite the eye down the path, and you'll be able to see through from an angle, and you'll be able to see that water feature there, the water spilling over into a rill, running down and along. All this area will be covered in gravel and large rocks dotted about, and this is where I will place my citrus trees, my citrus plants. The olives are going to be planted in the ground, but they're not going to be sunken into the ground. I'm going to dig shallow pits, shallow and wide, and then a local farmer is going to come along with a tractor which has got forks on, and he's going to help me lift them over. I'll take the pots off, and then we'll drop them into these shallow pits, and then I will bank up. The benefit of this is I'll keep some of the height, and also I'll keep drainage, because the main root will be slightly elevated, and that will help with the drainage. So there we go. I hope that explains my plan for my tiny olive grove. That area down there where that asbestos garage is going to be cleared, that garage is going, and that's going to be a parking area. There's actually a gate in this corner, so eventually my car will be parked down there. Path down the middle, rill around the outside, olive tree, olive tree, olive tree, apple tree at back. There's actually electric for lights, so there'll be, all these will be uplit, and that will be my tiny olive grove. And if you want to see how it all turns out, clearly subscribe and hit the notifications bell. I'll see you soon for some more olive tree gardening. Bye for now.